If you just do a quick Google search on why people are leaving Colorado, it is most likely going to show that it's affordability or the cost of living, right? Because Colorado's cost of living has gone up dramatically over the last 10 years. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal 9 different cities in this video that are the most affordable when we are talking pretty much from Denver Metro all the way up into Fort Collins. Quick note on this, that this is based off of your median home price in regards to affordability, because when we break down the cost of living, for the most part, groceries, utilities, and all that stuff, they might fluctuate a little bit, but home prices is the majority reason why these places are more affordable. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive into why Colorado is so great, why so many people have relocated into the Denver Metro. I mean, the top thing is just our mountains, guys. It's a beautiful state. We've got a lot of great activities, and when we do see people who are relocating into Colorado, it's because they want that lifestyle that you can attain living in the Denver Metro all the way up into Fort Collins. And that's the number one reason why we do see people relocating into Colorado, like job and all those things. Like, I thought for sure when we first started this channel, it was, job location or cost of living back in the day is one of the big ones. But no, it's just our activities. That's one of the top reasons why so many of you are relocating into Colorado. And then as I go through these cities, what I am going to do is I'm going to kind of give you my own special sauce on it, because you can just Google any of this stuff. You just Google up, hey, the most affordable cities in the Denver metro area or anything like that, and it'll throw you the numbers. So it's like, what good am I for? What I'm going to do is, being a 5th generation native to Colorado, give you my own special sauce, my own take on each of these cities. That way you can kind of dig into it a little bit more. Maybe even go check out a few of our other videos on these cities, because we do cover these cities often. All right, and we're going to break backwards. So number 9, the number 9 city when we are talking about affordability based on your home prices, I'm also going to throw the rent out there as well, is going to be Fort Collins, Colorado. Fort Collins, I actually thought that this would be higher up on the list, but it comes in at number 9, where you got a median home price of $580,000, and your average monthly rent for a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,644. Now, where is Fort Collins, Colorado? If you really don't know, we like to kind of expose this in a way as if you don't know where it's at. You're looking at probably about an hour, 20, hour and a half drive to Denver from Fort Collins. And now that's to the heart of Fort Collins. If we're just talking right off the highway, you could easily make that probably like an hour. It also depends on traffic as well too. If you're going to during high traffic times, expect this time to probably be closer to about 2 hours to get from the heart of Denver into the heart of Fort Collins. Fort Collins, it's a weird beast in itself, because Fort Collins has grown its own little metro area. Now, it's kind of always had its own like Fort Collins metro area, but we are seeing that a lot of people are choosing these surrounding areas to Fort Collins more than Fort Collins itself. So whether we're going north to Wellington, whether we're going south to Loveland or Windsor, a lot of people are choosing these areas and then just taking advantage of Fort Collins, because Fort Collins has a great little downtown that has many activities that you can do. They have a lot of festivals. And so people are like, you know what, I'm just going to live on the outskirts of Fort Collins, and then also not having to deal with, the CSU, Colorado State University, all the stuff that happens around that. And I'll take advantage of their festivities when they do come down the line, not being too far away. Number 8 on our list is going to be Longmont, Colorado. If you do not know where Longmont, Colorado is, it's essentially 7 minutes north of Denver. The good thing about Longmont though is it's also close to Boulder. You're looking at probably about a 30-minute drive over into Boulder. And Longmont, when we do cover Longmont, oftentimes we say it's like the little sister to Boulder, right? A lot of people who want to take advantage of Boulder or work in Boulder, they choose to live within Longmont because it's more of a smaller community feel there. The median home price though in Longmont is coming in at $568,990, and the average rent for a 1-bedroom apartment comes in at $1,738. So it's crazy to see that actually the average rent for a 1-bedroom apartment is more expensive than Fort Collins, but you could buy a house cheaper in Longmont. Outside of just being so close to Boulder, Colorado, what Longmont really has going for it is that cool little downtown that they do have. It's just a nice little downtown that you can go and hang out. They have a lot of great restaurants that we personally love going to. They have the Longmont Theater up there that we love going to. Majority in the Christmas time. I mean, mean, it's hard for Chelsea to get me to go to a play, but when we do go, we like to go into either that one or the one over in Lafayette in order to see some local artisans kind of do their acting and, you know, do the plays and stuff. It's pretty cool to kind of do that and also support that community. Number 7 on our list, which is my old stomping grounds where I grew up, well, half of where I grew up. It's going to be Westminster, Colorado. Westminster, you're looking at about a 25 minute drive north and then like west of Denver, Colorado. But yeah, Westminster, it's definitely changed a lot since I went there. The biggest thing that is changing about it is that Westminster downtown, which used to be the Westminster Mall. Crazy enough to think that that's like the high school hangout and all that, but that Westminster downtown is popping. It is building like crazy, becoming a super popular hub for anyone who are living in or around the Westminster area. Your median home price over in Westminster is going to be $535,000. Average monthly rent for a 1-bedroom apartment comes in at $1,928. So that's even more expensive than the previous 2 cities we already talked about. And I think the biggest thing that Westminster does have going for it is its proximity. It has great proximity, whether you are wanting to go straight northwest up to Boulder, whether you want to go straight, I guess, southeast, sorta, down to Denver, or if you want to take advantage of like the northern Denver metro area, it's just like, it's like centered in between all this, and it's actually in a pretty primo spot when we are talking about that. Even North Westminster, that is the northern Denver metro area. So you have different portions of Westminster that you can choose. And all those portions, they have great access no matter where it is you do choose to live within Westminster, Colorado. The 6th city on our list with most affordable is going to be Commerce City, Colorado. Now there's a huge caveat to this one that I'm going to dive into, but first let's go over these numbers. If you look at your median home price, it comes in at $533,000, and then your average rent for a 1-bedroom apartment comes in at $1,732. I didn't go over where Commerce City is, so essentially if you're taking a drive down into Denver, it's going to take you about the same as Westminster, about 25 minutes. I'd say it's like a similar distance that Westminster is from Denver. It's just, it's on the east side, not on the west side of I-25. Now, here's the caveat to Commerce City is there's 2 parts of Commerce City, and even people who live in the northern portion, which we call Reunion or Buffalo Run, they technically don't say they live in Commerce City, but they are a part of Commerce City because the south side of Commerce City, a little bit older, a little bit more industrial, where the newer portion where Reunion and Buffalo Run is, that's where you got your newer homes, and that is easily why this median home price is brought up so much. If we were just to incorporate that older portion of Commerce City, that industrial portion, that number would be so much lower, but because of Reunion, it is bringing that number up quite a bit. But it does show that even with that number going up, it is one of the most affordable cities when we are talking about purchasing homes within the Denver metro area. All right, we are just about halfway there, guys. We're gonna be going to our number 5 city. Before I do though, if you are looking for a licensed realtor in the state of Colorado to help you out with your real estate needs, you know, relocate into the area, we have the top team to help you out with all those home purchases. So make sure you give us a call or text at that phone number right below. Right there, we always answer. It doesn't matter date or time, but if you're not quite ready to purchase, make sure you follow along by smashing that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, notification bell. That way you're notified every single time we put out a brand new city. All right, let's dive back into this video. So we went on the number 5 city, which, gosh, we haven't covered this city in a while. We used to cover the city a couple times, but I don't know why. For some reason, we haven't covered it. So we're talking about Lakewood, Colorado. In Lakewood, Colorado, I'll dive a little bit into the uniqueness of Lakewood here in a bit. But first, let's look at that median home price, which comes in at $530,000. And your average monthly rent for a 1-bedroom apartment comes out $1,675. Now, Lakewood, Colorado, which is, I guess, the older portion of Lakewood or the main portion of Lakewood, it's going to be the closest to Denver, looking at about a 17-minute drive. And when you are in this portion of Lakewood, it does feel a little bit just like the outskirts of Denver. It feels a lot like Denver, where if you go more west in Lakewood, this is where you hit those beautiful foothills where you have these hilly homes, you have this awesome terrain that you can live with in Lakewood, and that's what a lot of people love about Lakewood. If we were talking about like just, I guess, slightly mediocre mountain biking paths or whatever, you can go up to Green Mountain, do your thing up there. So Lakewood, it looks so much different on the west side as compared to the east side of Lakewood, Colorado. but it's just your preferences. If you want to be closer to Denver, live more kind of like in that city outskirts area, then choose East Lakewood. But if you want more of that kind of mountain front range living, definitely choose the west side of Lakewood. Number four comes in with Thornton, Colorado, which is actually where we own our home, where we chose to purchase our house. Thornton, Colorado, I was a little surprised because with Thornton, the way it has been blowing up, it has become much more expensive. If you're looking at driving down into Denver, you're looking at about a 19-minute drive. Again, these drive times are not based off of traffic. If there's traffic, I'd say you're looking at closer to 30 to 40 minutes to get down to Denver from Thornton. And this is from the heart of Thornton. This isn't even talking about the northern portion of Thornton, which is where a lot of that newer development is happening. Median home price in Thornton, Colorado comes in at $521,000, with your average monthly rent on a one-bedroom apartment coming in at $1,599, which actually isn't bad compared to a few of these other cities. Again, I thought Thornton was going to be a little bit more expensive than that when we are talking about your average monthly rent. Thornton, Colorado, guys, we took advantage of it early on when we did see that how it was blowing up. They built a brand new Denver Premium Outlets on the north side. They just threw Top Golf in on the north side, right next to the Costco up there. But there's a ton of development happening up in the northern Thornton portion. And then even the older southern portion of Thornton, Colorado, they're reinvesting some money to kind of give it a facelift a little bit. Thornton is blowing up, and if you want chance for high equity gains, I highly recommend looking into Thornton, and that is a big reason why we chose to purchase our house there. Number 3 on our list comes in with Loveland, Colorado. Loveland, Colorado is just south of Fort Collins. If you are wanting to make it from the heart of Loveland down into the heart of Denver, you're looking at about a 58-minute drive. So Loveland, it's the vibe of it feels similar to Fort Collins, I guess you could say. Fort Collins does have a larger downtown, but Loveland's downtown is growing. It's just like a smaller version of Loveland. Like I always compare Loveland to Fort Collins like I compare Longmont to Boulder, where it's just, it's just a little bit on the outskirts of it. A lot of people who do work within Fort Collins do choose to live within Loveland, Colorado, just because it's a little bit quieter. Your median home price in Loveland, Colorado comes in at $501,000, so you can definitely get a house cheaper in Loveland, Colorado as compared to Fort Collins. As I mentioned, a lot of people are choosing to take advantage of the festivities in Fort Collins, but living on these cities outlying Fort Collins. And Loveland is definitely one of those cities that people are choosing. Number two on our list is going to be Aurora, Colorado, which is crazy because Aurora, Colorado is actually the third largest city by population in Colorado. But yeah, it comes in number 2 for the cheapest, and of course this is based off of your median home price, where Aurora, Colorado comes in at $482,750. Your average monthly rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Aurora, Colorado is $1,678. And believe it or not, because there is no easy way to get over to Denver from Aurora when we are talking about highway access. You either have to go straight north to I-70 or straight south on 225 and joining onto I-25. There's just no straightaway. Yeah, you talk about like Colfax or anything like city streets, but it takes you about 30 minutes to get over to Denver from Aurora. Like, again, the downtown, the heart of Denver, from Aurora. And Aurora is another rare one where, if we look at like the east side of Aurora, that's where we're seeing a lot of newer development out by Gun Club Road and all that. You see a lot of newer homes out there, and that median sales price isn't going to touch that area out there. Just expect, if you are planning on moving on to like the eastern or even the southeastern portion of Aurora, you are going to be spending more on a house as compared to the heart or the older portion of Aurora. And the number one most affordable city on this list that we are covering based on your median home price is going to be Greeley, Colorado. So Greeley, Colorado, it's pretty much directly straight east of Fort Collins, Colorado. It's one of those spots, it's weird because we have seen a lot of interest in Greeley lately, and it's growing for sure. It is blowing up, and this might be another one of those cities that you can purchase in expecting high equity growth, where currently the median home price in Greeley, Colorado stands at $436,000 and about $500, right? It's like a little bit lower, but yeah. So let's just say $437,000 is your median home price up in Greeley. I'd say this is definitely one of those opportunities where you purchase there in expectation for it to grow a little bit more, and then have that awesome equity growth. So Greeley, Colorado comes in our most affordable city when we are covering from the Denver Metro all the way up into Fort Collins. Again, guys, we like to go in depth on a lot of these videos. So if you want to know a little bit more about these videos, check back in our history, see if we covered a video on these cities to kind of give you a little bit more detail if there's one that did spark your interest. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We greatly appreciate it. If you are looking at purchasing real estate in the state of Colorado, we've assembled the best team of realtors. Give us a call or text at that phone number right below. Right below it there, we always answer, it doesn't matter date or time, but if you're not quite ready to purchase, do yourself a favor and follow along by smashing that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, notification bell, that way you're notified every single time we put out a brand new video. Till next time, we love ya.